Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football YouTube channel. Welcome back to the Arsenal newsroom. We are live on this Thursday evening and there is plenty to talk about. A couple of bits of news that we've got to talk about today. Of course, we'll talk about last night's game. We'll start looking ahead to the Aston Villa game as well. We've got injury updates. But the most important thing is that we are still 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League. If I could just ask you, please do subscribe if you are new to the channel. We're on the way to 27,000 subscribers. And if you are one of the people that is here bright and early, please do click the like button. It does massively help. Of course, we went and filmed a podcast today. So after this, you can go and watch the latest episode of the Back Post podcast. The link is at the top of the description. Tobes, after his performance on Monday, the arrogance on Monday, off the back of a draw, he gets a humbling. He gets an absolute humbling. But look, it's good to see so many of you here. Ethan Udall, Vivi Vlad, Shayan, Ryan, Philip Jacobson, Bertie, Sam Berry, Leeds Gunner, Saka is God, Sergeant Soup, welcome. Lucas, good to see you. Good to see you all. You'll love to see it. Drop your Spotify Wrapped. I don't even know. I haven't done it, to be honest. I don't really listen to music. If I'm honest with you, I don't really listen to music, so I can't. It will mainly just be the main thing I listen to. If you want to know, is Jack Makes Happy Hour podcast. But even that is just when I drive home. Shout out to Jack Makes Happy Hour. You know, welcome fellow Goon Platoon. Welcome. What a player Madueke is. Yeah, Madueke had a decent game last night. I still want to see more efficiency from him. That was the one thing I spoke about on the video last night. The difference, I think, between Madueke and Saka is efficiency in and around the box. But no, it was a good performance from him. He definitely looks better off the right than off the left. I've made another live. You'll love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Look, let's get on to the first confirmed news of the day. And that is this. Arsenal have officially announced the signing of twins Edwin and Holger Quintero. There they are. They are actually very similar looking. So good luck trying to pick. If they're both playing, I mean, what they're going to have Edwin and Holger on the back of their shirts. So I assume that's what they have for Independiente del Valle, because that's impossible. Arsenal said this, though. Arsenal Football Club have reached an agreement to sign twin brothers Edwin and Holger Quintero from Ecuadorian side Independiente del Valle, with the twins due to join us in August 2027. The highly rated 16-year-olds who have grown up in Esmeraldas, Ecuador, will arrive at the club when they turn 18. They will follow in the footsteps of our very own Piero Hincapié, who was born in the same region of Ecuador and is also a product of Independiente del Valle's famed academy. Edwin and Holger are recognized as two of the most exciting young talents in South America, displaying consistent and impressive performances at youth level for club and country. Both players have been capped at under-17 international level for Ecuador. Edwin is left-footed, quick, and a skillful dribbler. He operates as a right winger, likes to take on opponents, and has a catalogue of skills. Holger is a technically gifted right-footed attacking midfielder who links play with his progressive vision and also possesses the ability to beat opponents with quick feet. We will be collaborating closely with Independiente del Valle on the development and well-being of both Edwin and Holger until they arrive at Arsenal. Everyone at Arsenal is excited to welcome the Quintero twins to the club in the near future. So there you go. Happy days. Is Hincapié a loan to buy? Yeah, it is a loan to buy, but it's like basically guaranteed that we buy him within the deal. It was all part of the deal where like Kivior is a loan to buy at Porto, but they are also basically obliged to buy him. Do you think Mourinho is undroppable like some people are saying? No, I don't. I love Mourinho and I love what he's done, but he's not undroppable, in my opinion at least. But yeah, look, it's exciting. Look, this is the sort of thing that we needed to start doing. You know, you look at what Chelsea are doing and you can like it or loathe it. The fact is, if they keep scooping up all of the best talents around the world, some of them are going to work out. You know, like it or loathe it, Estevao is a very exciting young player. I mean, yesterday against Leeds, actually a poor performance. Lucky not to get sent off. But yeah, overall, I do think it's exciting. Do you know what is crazy, by the way, about this article or whatever you want to call it, this post from Arsenal, is that description of Edwin and Holger in terms of who they are, what they're good at, how they play, that is almost exactly how Ben Mattinson described both of them. Like, he is top. He is top. But there you go. That is that. So that's exciting news. It is what Chelsea are doing. Yeah, it is what Chelsea are doing. How do we have 3 injured centre-backs? Yeah, we'll get on to the injuries. We will get on to the injuries. Nid has been a member for 16 months. Nid, that is incredible support. Why are you such a crybaby? By the way, everyone like and subscribe and links for the Back Post Pod. Nid, I don't know why you call me a crybaby, but thank you very much for the 16 months. And yeah, there you go. If you want to watch the Back Post podcast, you are more than welcome. And on YouTube, the whole episode, basically, apart from we did a preview of the weekend's games, which won't be in the YouTube video, but the YouTube video is going to be like a 45-minute video reacting to the midweek games. So enjoy that. Crazy how we play Villa in 2 days. Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. Like, tomorrow's stream is going to be the Villa preview. This is what happens when you just bang, bang, bang every 3 days. It is mad. Maurizio MICHELI has officially joined Arsenal. That is the other bit of news today. Simon Collins with the exclusive. Maurizio MICHELI has officially begun working at Arsenal. He's left Napoli and joins Arsenal's recruitment team in a senior position. Gunnerblog also with a thing today. He said Andrea Berta will be the designated leader of Arsenal's squad building over the next 2 windows, guided by the exacting specifications of Mikel Arteta. Basically, Mikel Arteta is going to say, this is what I want. I don't know who I want. That's your job. But this is what I want from this player in this position. You go and find them and you get them. And that is what will be tasked of Andrea Berta. And he will now be supported by Maurizio MICHELI, who has joined the club in a senior recruitment role. Now, in terms of who Maurizio MICHELI is, he's been in Italy for a long, long time. This is interesting because it's the first time that Andrea Berta has kind of added to his team. You would assume that Andrea Berta has been, significantly involved in bringing him in. He has a proven lucrative track record. This was an article that Give Me Sport had written about him. He famously discovered Kvicha Kvaratskhelia in the Georgian League. He scouted defender Kim Min-jae for Napoli after just a season at Fenerbahce. Signed Kim Min-jae for 16 million in 2022. Sold him to Bayern for 43 million a year later, nearly 3 times the money. He was also the first to spot Kalidou Koulibaly. Signed him in 2014 from Genk. And earlier, he brought a young Marek Hamšík from Slovan Bratislava to Brescia. He was at Brescia earlier in his career and obviously put Hamšík on the map before his time at Napoli. So, yeah, it's an exciting one. It is an exciting one. Has a track record. The interesting thing is he has a track record of bringing players from everywhere, So, yeah, exciting. Next 2 windows is very interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. Next 2 windows, January next summer. I'd still be very surprised if we signed anyone in January, but you never know. You never know. Maybe we do. Rory, remember I commented about Rice a couple of streams ago? What did you comment? That he was probably going to get injured? Because I don't disagree. Have you seen the outrage from some of our fans over Saka not passing it to Gyökeres? I swear this fan base sometimes. Yeah, but there are just people that will find anything to complain about, especially on social media where it will get clicks and views. Just idiots. Daryl, thank you very, very much for the $5.99. I really do appreciate that. Right now, who's starting in the Champions League final? All 4 fit up top. Surely it's got to be Captain Clutch. Do you know what the crazy thing is? If you asked me right now, fit firing, who starts up top, I still think it's Kai Havertz. I really do. I don't think it would be Mikel Merino. I love Merino and I love what he's doing and he's popping up with such crucial goals. But I still do also think that there are times where his physicality it is a limitation, especially when we're trying to press teams. But it's a great problem to have. It is a fantastic problem to have. Are you on Havertz's payroll? No, I just massively rate him. I massively rate Kai Havertz, and I'm desperate to see him back as well. But thank you, Daryl, for the $5.99. I do really appreciate that. MICHELI now at Arsenal. Will we get Yildiz from Juventus this summer? Don't count it out. I hope so. I hope so. Box Tobes. I didn't need to box Tobes. Tobes' own team boxed him for me. You know? It was it was enjoyable seeing Tobes taken down a peg or two this morning. Not quite as giddy as he was on Monday, it has to be said. Fully fit, I'm taking Jesus. Yeah, I mean, but it depends what fully fit Jesus is these days. I mean, if you told me like pre-World Cup Jesus, then again, what a problem that would be to solve. Submissive and humble Tobes is a happy sight. It is indeed. Micheli's coming in. He's going to support Andrea Berta. They're going to support Mikel Arteta. We're bringing in youth products. Everything right now, we've had all of the contract extensions as well. Even, I think, one thing we massively questioned in the summer, by the way, was Leandro Trossard's contract. I certainly came on here and questioned it. I was confused as to why we gave Trossard the contract that we did. But even that has proven to be a very good thing to have done. It seems to have motivated Trossard. What we've got out of him this season has been fantastic. So, yeah, I do think we're in a really good place. The way that the club is currently operating is good. It's exciting. Hand of Arsenal hinting at Rice contract too. Yeah, I think Rice's contract has been in the pipeline for a while. I think it has. I commented about Rice being inevitably injured, just like Rodri a couple of years ago. I hope not. His ACL or hamstring, even Saka, because of Arteta's persistence. I don't disagree. But again, it was one of those last night where I genuinely think Arteta probably made as much rotation as he could. I think if you took Declan Rice out of that starting lineup, I'd have been a little bit concerned because we didn't steamroll Brentford, not by any stretch. It's difficult. One thing I would say, I don't think Arteta rates Norgard because we've not, he didn't even come on as a sub. Do you know what surprised me? Even when Declan Rice went off, the solution was to bring on Gyökeres and move Marino back into midfield rather than just bringing on Norgard in midfield. I don't know how much he trusts Norgard at this point, if I'm honest, which is a problem because our midfield, if you're talking about a sheer number of players, our midfield is our weakest spot. You've got lots of players that can play as an 8, right? Because Eze could do a job at 8. Havertz could do a job at 8. Marino can play at 8. Ødegaard, obviously. Waneri. But in terms of the more defensive side of the game, Rice is the only one that's playing as an 8 that can do the defensive work. You've got Zubimendi and you've got Norgard. So maybe that is something to look at in January, genuinely. Realistically, I think a solid centre mid for 30 mil would be much more worthwhile than a winger. We have plenty of wingers and 2 players in CM. Yeah, I don't disagree. In terms of, if you were to look right now, we'll get on to the injury news in a second. If you were to look right now, what could derail our season? An injury to Saka, damaging. An injury to any of the wingers, damaging. A long-term injury to Declan Rice, for me, would be the biggest thing that could derail us this season. And that's worrying. Skelly is the CM, maybe, but we just don't see it. We've seen it. We saw it for half an hour maybe earlier this season, did we? But we've not really seen it much at all. Ben White looked really solid back in the lineup. Yeah, I was buzzing for Ben White. I tweeted before the game when the lineups came out that it was a really big game for White, that he needed to prove that he is ready to step back in for Timber and that he can push Jurriën Timber. Ben White is still in the prime of his career, age-wise. He needed to prove that he could do it, and I thought he did prove that yesterday. I was really happy. And he did it for 90 minutes as well, which I definitely don't think would have been the plan. Arteta must have thought about Skelly as a CDM, if it was a good option or not. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. Will Saliba make Villa away? We don't know. Right, let's get into the injury news because people are talking about it. So, the first one, Declan Rice. Sky Sports, Declan Rice walked through the mixed zone after the game without a limp, and he told Sky Sports News that he's fine after being forced off in Arsenal's win over Brentford. So we don't know exactly what it is. Arteta was very coy about it. Arteta didn't really say what it was. He said, look, yeah, Rice couldn't carry on, which is never a good sign. But yeah, I've seen the video. He walks through the mixed zone absolutely fine. He told Sky Sports he's fine. It actually could have just been cramp. It was his calf, but it could have just been cramp. And hopefully it was just cramp. It's not surprising that this has happened. He has played an unbelievable amount of minutes. And it's not just the amount of minutes that he's playing. It's the amount of work that he does in those minutes. Like, it's relentless. And there have been times, even in the Bayern game, in the Chelsea game, where he looks knackered. So it's not surprising this has happened. I think if we can get him through the Villa game, he doesn't need to play against Club Brugge, and arguably he doesn't need to play at home against Wolves either. So, he could feasibly take an entire week off of Club Brugge and Wolves if we can get him through this Villa game. So hopefully we can, because, like I said, he's been an incredibly important player for us. Beyond that, obviously, Mosquera also had to go off in the first half. Arteta said, we lost Gabriel, then we lost Saliba. Now Mosquera has also suffered an injury. We have to wait and see. It's probably part of the knee or the ankle. We don't know. He couldn't really tell us exactly what it was, but he wasn't able to continue. Now, that is a little bit confusing. Like, surely you know if you've either hurt your ankle or your knee. I'm a bit confused by that. Interestingly, Physio Scout, who I trust a lot when it comes to diagnosing injuries and stuff from footage, he said on Christian Mosquera, it doesn't look like a major injury. It looks more muscular and a discomfort / tightness, if anything. Quad / groin region are particularly susceptible in that lengthened position. Hamstring too. Doesn't really matter what muscle, as it does look minor. Likely chance Arteta will say Mosquera felt something. Good chance he'll be back within a week or two. So, again, we don't really know what's the case with Mosquera. If Saliba is fit and available to play against Aston Villa, Mosquera's not such a problem. If Saliba's fit for Villa and Mosquera is only out for a week or two, it's not the end of the world. Jurriën Timber proved that he can do the job there. I saw it was interesting. Someone to the side of me at the game, or someone behind. I heard someone basically saying when Timber was playing at centre-back that Timber's never played at centre-back before. And I was like, well, yeah, he's never played at centre-back for Arsenal, really, but he's played a lot of minutes at centre-back for both Ajax and for Holland. So using Jurriën Timber there is okay. I still think in the Premier League, the way that the Premier League has moved in terms of the physicality and the set-piece dominance of the Premier League right now, you probably don't want Jurriën Timber at centre-back if you can avoid it. But he will do a job there. So it's not the end of the world. He looked comfortable on the ball and challenging and duels and stuff like that. Timber's fine. It's only really aerial duels that you've got a problem. And the games that we've got coming up, I mean, Villa, you've got Ollie Watkins, not the end of the world in terms of aerial duels. Club Brugge, I'll be honest, I couldn't tell you who their striker is. And then Wolves, I mean, you've got Strand Larsen, but yeah, not the end of the world. Calafiori plays centre-back. He does, but I prefer Calafiori at left-back. Calafiori, I thought, had an excellent game yesterday, by the way. I thought he was one of our best players. Defensively, he was so secure. But then going forwards, he's causing havoc. He got 2 really good shots off with his right foot as well. He's so difficult to pick up. It's unbelievable. Pigeonhead, thank you very, very much for the 5 gifted memberships. If you have just been gifted a membership by Pigeonhead, please do make sure to thank him in the chat. You will now have a green name and access to all of the emojis. Absolute legend, Pigeonhead. I appreciate that. As always, the money goes straight back into the channel. So, absolute legend. Absolute legend. Morgan Rogers is the biggest threat for Villa. Yeah, he is. I'm talking about aerial. I'm talking about if they go long to the striker. They're going long to Ollie Watkins, right? W Pigeonheads in the chat. You love to see it. Calafiori deserved a goal yesterday. He deserved something. Saka should have buried that one where Calafiori cutting onto his right got the shot off. I don't know how. Between that one and the Marino rebound from Rice's shot, I didn't know what was going on. It was all happening at the other end of the pitch to me, so I couldn't really couldn't figure it out. There you go. Rian has thanked him. In Ødegaard we trust. Oh, I've done it again. Our guiding star from drama's light to glory afar, with every pass he shapes the skies, the master's touch. Where magic lies, we chant his name, our faith, our flame, our rise. Martin Ødegaard. Martin Ødegaard was good last night. It's weird. There's a real divide in the fan base when it comes to Martin Ødegaard. There's basically, people can either see what he is doing or they can't. And it's happening every game at the moment. You know, I thought when he came on against Chelsea, we looked better with him on the pitch. And I thought we looked good with him last night. Other people, oh, he's negative, oh, he's this, oh, he's that. It's, people want him to play like Eze, but then don't recognise, actually, Eze loses the ball a lot. Eze gets caught out a lot. Eze takes too many touches a lot. And that's fine, because Eze's job is different. But Ødegaard's role is to control the game. And people get annoyed with him for doing that. But it's important. It is important. Timber played centre-back for us against Villa last season when we were 2 up. And then Partey played right-back and we drew 2-2. Yeah, well, fortunately, I'm never going to have to witness Thomas Partey at right-back again. So that's delightful. What time is Back Post Pod today? It was 6, probably. If it's not already out, then it will be 6. So, yeah. But it's pretty much all good to go. Last season v Villa, crap. Yeah, nearly read that out. Have you seen the amount of minutes Nwaneri's been getting recently? Yeah, it's been tough for Nwaneri. It has been tough for Nwaneri. PSG are close to signing Ayoub Boadi. Yeah, I saw Hand of Arsenal had tweeted to Ben Mattinson previously about Boadi. And then he replied to that again today, just with a heartbreak emoji. So, yeah, I think he is probably not going to be available for us. Gareth, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Unbelievable. Bruges, Wolves, maybe even Everton. Rice rest. No, I wouldn't rest Rice against Everton. I wouldn't rest him against Everton. I think Bruges, Wolves, they're the two that you can rest him for. Ødegaard's just coming back from injury. He's bound to be rusty. Yeah, and I didn't even think he was that rusty yesterday either. I thought he had a good game. Binyam, you'll probably have to go back to the start for the news. The first sort of 15 minutes is the news. Are we actually looking to sign Quinton as well? 2 pairs of twins would go mad. I don't know if we've ever truly been, if we've ever truly gone for Quinton Timber. I truthfully, I don't know. We've definitely looked at him. We have definitely looked at him, but I don't think we've ever fully gone for him. We used to lack creative depth in midfield. Now we lack defensive depth in midfield. Yeah, I think we need one more player. I do think we need one more player in there. What do you think of Walcott saying that Marino's more trusted at striker? I don't think Walcott knows what he's on about, to be honest. I don't know. It's been a weird one with Walcott. When Walcott burst onto the scene. When Walcott started doing punditry, I quite liked him, but I just feel like he's out of the... Do you know when sometimes you just get someone and you're like, are you actually watching Arsenal week in, week out? And with him, I'm just not convinced he is. Like, Marino's been starting games as striker because he's been the only player that can start as striker. Like, this idea that he started against Chelsea because, Gyökeres wasn't trusted. Gyökeres has been injured. He's still not fit to start games, which is why he also didn't start last night. We have no Kai Havertz. By the way, even if you want to make the argument that Gyökeres isn't trusted to start big games yet, if you want to make that argument, Kai Havertz is Arteta's big game player. Arteta loves Kai Havertz in a big game. So, yeah, I don't know what he was on about, really. Walcott said the Caicedo challenge wasn't 100% red. Piss off, mate, used to like you. That's the other side where he's trying too hard to be an unbiased pundit. And I've seen that with other Arsenal pundits in the past. You try so hard to be unbiased that you end up actually being biased against Arsenal. Kai is our favourite player. Could you play Ben White as the CDM? Not really, I don't think. I think he's suited to overlapping. I want Ben White overlapping. For me, games like the Brentford game, Wolves will be another great game. I want Ben White on the overlap because he does it again and again and again. It's the relentless nature of how often he overlaps that causes problems for the opposition team because it's like, oh my God, Ben White's going again. He's going again. He's going again. And eventually you'll find those gaps and he will pick up the ball and then he can put a decent ball in as well. Ederson would be a dream option as backup for Rice. Yeah, I keep seeing Ederson linked with Liverpool. Again, he's a player that truthfully I've not seen like a huge amount of, but yeah. 350-ish people here. Get the likes up, people. Yeah, there are nearly 350 of you here. If you could please click the like button, I would be massively grateful. It does massively help. Dumb question. If a midfielder plays most of his games as a centre forward, is he still considered a midfielder in FPL? Yes. The only way that he wouldn't be considered a midfielder in FPL is next season if they decide that he's a striker. But I don't think anyone with a brain cell is not going to suddenly start telling you that Mikel Merino's a striker because, like, he's not unless he needs to be. Maybe he could have been. Like, maybe there was a youth development coach at some point that decided that Mikel Merino was a central midfielder. And if he had decided that Mikel Merino was a striker, we might have had a Spanish Olivier Giroud. Maybe. Because he's got the instincts. He's got the movement. He's got the one-touch finishing. We'll never know. Yeah, as someone said, Dortmund played him at centre-back at one point. Mikel Merino was playing at centre-back for Dortmund at one point in his career. It's crazy. But then it's kind of it's the opposite of Joel Linton, right? Someone at some point in time decided Joel Linton was a striker. Turned out he's actually a central midfielder. Tuchel played my man at centre-back. Tommy Tukes. If PSG get Buadi, I'm going to get mad. I mean, I don't think Buadi had he ever really been linked to us? I feel like that was much more of a fan-led thing with Buadi than actual legitimate links. Excuse me. How are you feeling about the season overall to this point? Very good. Very, very good. I think if you had told us that at this stage, if you had said at the start of the season, right, by the start of December, especially if you did it before the fixture list had come out, if you'd said, right, by the start of December, you're going to have played at Anfield, St. James's Park, Stamford Bridge, Old Trafford. You'll also have played Man City, Spurs. That's all within your first 14 games. And you'll also have had Ødegaard injured for most of it, Saka injured for a fair bit of it, Saliba injured for a bit of it, Gabriel injured for a bit of it, Havertz injured for all of it, Gyökeres injured for a fair bit of it, Madueke injured for most of it. And you're going to be 5 points clear. Absolutely. Happy days. Happy days. So, yeah. To answer your question, I'm very happy with where we are. I think it's difficult to, not make every single game feel like it's a statement game and it's a massive game. And I feel like we are always saying, oh, win that game, it's a statement. But Villa Park would be a statement. Villa Park would be a statement. We'd go 9 points. Not that I think Villa are truly in a title race, but they're in incredible form. Villa have won 8 of their last 9 Premier League games. They're in incredible form. It's away from home. It's lunchtime on a Saturday. If we can go there and win, yeah. And that would be another one of the really difficult away games ticked off as well. That would basically just leave us with the Etihad and Spurs, if you can count that as a difficult away game, which is good. Alfie, thank you very, very much for the £5 super chat. You said Ødegaard's job is to control the ball. Isn't a Cam's job to create? What is the point of a Cam that barely creates and doesn't score? So I have a couple of issues with what you're saying. Firstly, a Cam is a position on FIFA. It's not an actual thing, right? And Ødegaard's role within the Arsenal squad is to develop and create from deep. He actually created the most chances of any player yesterday. So in terms of chance creation, he ranked number 1 for chance creation yesterday. But his job is to bring us through the midfield. And I'll give you an example of how important that is. The game against Chelsea, Eze was playing as a cam, right? And we could not get the ball from the defence to the attack. We couldn't link the defence and the attack. And we had to keep going long, and it wasn't working. Another example is Spurs. Spurs have nobody that can currently link the defence and the attack. And as a result, they can't build and sustain attack after attack. That is what Ødegaard helps you to do. Now, in terms of goals and assists, yeah, fair enough. Like, he does need to add more of that to his game. He has been out for 2 months. But overall, it's like saying, what's the job of a left back? Well, mainly to defend. But what we're asking Calafiori to do is completely different. And especially in certain games, if we have both Eze and Ødegaard in midfield, then yeah, Ødegaard's role is to drop deep and build up from there. But I do appreciate the £5. And it's a fair question, but that is my opinion. Ødegaard has 0 threat, 0 impact. Yeah, but again, you're just looking at the final action. You're not looking at everything that happens in the build up to that. When you're able to sustain attack after attack after attack because of what Ødegaard is doing, you're not seeing it directly, but it does make an impact. The Ødegaard disrespect is crazy. People don't see how much he gives. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. At the start of the season, I said by the halfway point of the season, if we have 45 points and top 8 in the UCL almost sorted, we're headed there. I'm happy. Yeah, we are. Are we headed for 45 points? We're currently on 33 with 5 games left. We need 12 points. So yeah, 4 wins out of our next 5 games, which is Villa, Wolves, Everton. We play Villa again. But yeah, it's very plausible that we hit 45 points and are comfortably top 8 in the Champions League, which is good. Also, because I don't think 90 points is actually going to be needed to win the Prem. I don't think you're going to need 90 points to do it this year. Also, suddenly Cam is not a thing. You talk about players playing positions like left wing or right wing or centre back, but suddenly it isn't applying when critiquing Ødegaard. It's not that it's not applying. It's just that you look at, like, what is Declan Rice's position? Because he pops up as a cam as much as any midfielder in any team. Is he a cam? He's a box-to-box 8, but he's also filling in at left back at times. I think what I'm trying to say is Ødegaard's job is not to sit in front of the 2 midfielders, Zubimendi and Rice, and just sit there and create from there. Ødegaard's job is to drift all over the pitch and facilitate our build-up play. And then when we do get into attacking zones, try and unlock teams. And again, he did create the most chances yesterday. But like, you look at Calafiori. Calafiori is a great example. He's popping up at right wing, right attacking mid. It's just, I don't think we're locked into these positions anymore. The 2 centre-backs probably are the ones that are the most locked into 2 positions. That's all I mean by that. Arsenal are 9 points further ahead of what we got last season against the same 14 teams. That's insane. Yeah, we are. Do you know what's really interesting? And I spoke about this on the podcast today. The narrative around Chelsea relative to the actual reality of Chelsea is crazy. The narrative around Chelsea this season has been they're much improved. After they drew against us, they're in a title race. All of this stuff. They are 4 points worse off than they were after 14 games last season. So in terms of the volume of games, 14 games in last season, they were on 28 points. This season, they're on 24 points. And then if you do the same like for like, so the 14 opponents they've played this season, against them last season, they got 28 points. They're on 24 points. So they're worse off. They've regressed. And yet the conversation has kind of been as if they're, Maresca's figuring things out and stuff. So is the pod already out? It could be. I'm not in control of it. So the pod could already be out. Joining just now, but I love your TikTok saying I'm not a transformer. Oh, yeah, that was a while ago. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. But overall, I would just say I don't worry now. I don't worry about what people are saying about Arsenal. By the way, you know how there was so much talk about set pieces? All of the talk was about set piece goals. We've become a set piece league, this, that, and the other about set pieces. Arsenal's last 7 goals now haven't been set pieces. They've all been open play goals. Suddenly that conversation's died off. Other teams are still scoring goals from set pieces left, right, and centre. But suddenly, we don't talk about set pieces anymore. Don't talk about that. But I don't bother listening to them. There's no point listening to them. Who is the Bowden of the Back Post podcast? I don't think we have a full Lewis Bowden. Tobes, I think, might get the most delusional when he's talking about Chelsea. But yeah. Bowden of Back Post is for sure Tobes. I don't think Tobes is that. Tobes has a lot of football knowledge. He also just gets very carried away with proper Chelsea. But there we go. Doesn't Chelsea have 1 goal less from set pieces than us? I think they might have the same number. Is it not 10? Is what not 10? Yeah, I think Chelsea have the same number of goals as us from corners at this point. It is crazy how little articles and think pieces there are about set pieces now. It's nuts. It is genuinely nuts. Seb's not having a good time so far. Almost feel sorry for him. Seb had probably his best day so far today. Because at least for Seb, they drew away at Newcastle, which most people didn't think they would be able to do, and Chelsea lost. So today was the first day. Today was the first day that Seb wasn't the complete loser. Erdegaard 23-24 was being compared to Bruno and De Bruyne that season, especially second half of the season. He was elite. I don't know what's wrong with our fan base. I agree. Stop spamming, but I do agree. Slot's third favourite to be sacked. Who are the favourites to be sacked now? Thomas Frank presumably is very much up there. Who else is? Daniel Farke was. I assume Daniel Farke was favourite. Is Scott Parker up there now? Rob Edwards. I mean, Rob Edwards has only just took over. Surely they're not going to sack him. Surely they're not going to sack Rob Edwards. Tobe said this on the podcast today. I think Wolves might have bought in Rob Edwards for the championship. I think they might have bought him in just knowing that they're going down. Like, they're going down. Like, there's no way about it. They're 12 points away from safety. They've got 2 points in 14 games. It's the worst ever start to a Premier League season. Like, I think they know they're going down and they want Rob Edwards to bring them back up. Farke, Frank, Slot, Parker. Yeah, that makes sense. Are you worried about City? Not massively. I think the difference between City this year and any other year, it's a continuation of City last year. I think City have got better at scoring goals this season. I still think they're fragile defensively. I still don't think they've got the squad depth. You know, you look at the game against Fulham, right? They bring on John Stones. They bring on Savinho. They look so much worse straight away. They've got an almost fully fit squad right now. It's only Rodri that they're missing. I just don't see Man City going on one of those runs. Like, I don't see it happening. Even with Phil Foden looking much better now. They just look fragile. And if it had just been the Fulham game, I'd be like, okay, that was a blip. But it was the Leeds game, the game before that. It was, if we go and look through Man City's games, I thought they looked really good against Liverpool. Wait, let me get rid of this. 1 second. Bear with me. But I think if we look through their games, 4 conceded against Fulham, 2 conceded against Leeds, 2 conceded at home to Leverkusen, 2 conceded away to Newcastle. They conceded against Dortmund, against Bournemouth, against Swansea, against Villa. They went on a decent little run defensively here. But even before that, they conceded 2 against Monaco. I just feel like you can get at them. And I think teams will continue to get at them. In terms of their next few fixtures, Sunderland are so impressive. Like, Sunderland just are a good team. And it may be that at the end of the season, we look back on the draw away at Sunderland and we go, wasn't a bad point. So we'll see what they can do at the Etihad. Just joined late. Did you talk about the Twins? Yeah, I talked about the Twins right at the start. If you go back to the start of the stream, I talked about them as the first thing we spoke about, probably like a couple of minutes into the stream. Real Madrid, that'll just be an entertaining game to watch. Away at Selhurst Park, difficult game. Brentford's Carabao Cup, home to West Ham's easy. Away at Forest on a Saturday lunchtime, that's not an easy game. Then away to Sunderland on New Year's Day at 8 o'clock, New Year's Day away at Sunderland. That's a tough one. Then they've got Chelsea. Brighton's not easy. Old Trafford, they've actually struggled at. There are plenty of games. Yeah, they've still got to go away to Spurs where they always lose. Then away to Anfield. Yeah, I just think we're in a good spot. We're in a good spot. Unfortunately, Sunderland will have lost a lot of players to AFCON by then. What, when they go away to Sunderland? Oh, yeah, that's true, actually. That is true. That's annoying. They got lucky with that, didn't they? 27th, no, yeah, the 1st of January. Is what it is. Is what it is. I still trust in Sunderland. I still trust in them. Anyway, it is time for the quiz question. Get your fingers on your keyboards. First person to get this right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. Today's quiz question is this. Which Arsenal player is the only player that was a member of Arsene Wenger's final squad? Which Arsenal player is the only player that was a member of Arsene Wenger's final squad? It's a bit of a trick question. It's not a trick question, but it's a bit of a trick question. The first person though to get it right was IZK. It was indeed. There is a spelling mistake, but I know what you mean. It was Reece Nelson. Obviously, technically he's on loan, but he is an Arsenal player. Nid was second. Lee was third. Alfie was fourth. And RH was fifth. There you go. Congratulations. It was indeed Reece Nelson. So once we move him on, that will be the end of Arsene Wenger's legacy. It won't be. He's got a longer legacy than the players that he left behind, but that would be the final Wenger player. Can't take it anymore. Need set pieces. I do want Gabriel back. Like, we just didn't look like a threat from set pieces last night. I think someone put in the chat, we created 0.00 XG from set pieces last night. It didn't help that Madueke could not clear the first man on corners. I don't know why we didn't just switch that to Erdegaard. But yeah, that was a shame. There we go. VAR goal given. IZK, congratulations. Look, that is going to be the end of the stream. Massively appreciate all of you for joining. If you could subscribe, like, all of that good stuff before you bounce off, go and check out the Back Post podcast. I'm hoping it is live right now. If it's not, it will be live imminently. And we'll be back here tomorrow for the Aston Villa preview, which is it's a big one, actually. It is a big one. But look, other than that, I hope you all enjoy your evening. I'll catch you tomorrow. And until then, goodbye.